Hello there, fellow summoners. Mad Dog HT here, and we're going back into Alliance War today. I'm trying to get caught up with a bunch of these Alliance Wars. So as you know, we started the season 0-2, but we're going to turn that around. So right here we have the Republic of PH, and I'm thinking a bunch. That stands for Philippines. But yeah, we are going in Path 2 with Strike, Counter, Fury, and Power Struggle. First, I brought in my 5-star thing because he's max sig and be able to deal with the strike counter a lot easier than my 6-star thing, who's sig like 50 or so, somewhere around there, because I can let the passive furies build up and not have to worry about my combat power rate. So here I'm just trying to wait out all of those debuffs that he puts on you that gives him the unstoppable. And yeah, we're just going to, on this one, you know, we have been managing our combo just because I felt like I wanted to nullify his rod with my special one, and that will allow me to get more reliable parries off. And then, you know, with those stifle debuffs that he's putting on you, you know, I can't get armor broke, but I can get stifled. Those will, while they'll give him unstoppable buffs, I can nullify those if needed. But also it's going to give me some willpower healing. So yeah, so I'm trying to manage my combo fairly well. He's got 3 passive furies on. I'm trying to get this guy to throw a special 2. There we go. We just blocked that. Get some willpower healing back, and we do lose quite a bit of health. I felt like this guy didn't want to throw his special one. I don't know if it was just with the way that I was playing, the AI just wasn't really cooperating all that much with me, but we get the kill. We lost a little bit of health, and yeah, we're gonna move on to this next one, which is Red Hulk. And I don't know, I felt like I kind of moved that same strategy of throwing the specials and everything from the last fight into this fight, when I probably should have just redlined it. I did kind of want to keep his passive furies down, because in the back of my mind I was thinking that the heat was gonna, you know, penetrate through the protection and whatever, which it doesn't. You'll see that. Because I end up stop throwing my special. I thought maybe I could build up my furies a little bit faster with throwing some specials, but you know, with the Human Torch and Thing synergy on the team, I should have just went with redlining it, letting him get his passive furies, and then just make sure you don't get hit. Because once he gets, I think it's right around when he gets to like 6, which is gonna be a minute or so. That's when I pretty much, every time I parry and block a hit, I'm triggering protection. So you can see that when I do get those parry blocks, I am taking some heat damage, which is, you know, fairly significant. Not too significant. It was like 300. That one was 375. That one was 273. Not a ton. But now he's got 4 passive furies. And I think from here on out, I'm like, you know what? I think I'm just going to redline it and build up my rock stacks and try not to take too much more damage there. Now he's triggering protection. And so you can see, even when I parry on like this next hit, 1 damage. So I should have just stuck with that. I took a little bit of unnecessary damage, but it really didn't matter for you know, the fight or the war. I mean, I still had plenty of health, and we finished him off with a glorious special 3, wrap him up in our big rock burrito, and smash him up against the wall. And yeah, we get the full attack bonus, and we move on. And I queued up all my energy, and we're trying to do all this on like one shot. Now here's a fight that was a first time see for me. It's got EMP modification, bubble shield, aspect of evolution, and burden of might. So you know, they changed this node, and I do think that Apocalypse on this node is a pretty good placement because, you know, if you don't bring a shock immune, EMP can mess you up depending on how quickly you can get this guy down. And, you know, a Dex can really mess up your flow. So here I started with the Power Start 1 boost. I Mystic boosted. My whole goal was to get him to a special 3. And, you know, I was using a little bit of a different strategy of like dashing back and block, but then when he was rushing in, I would let go and parry him. I just didn't want to have to re-parry or double parry and use up some of those bubble shield charges. Here we get the special 3 off, so we're like, okay, this is going well. We do the Doom combo, we steal, we special 2, now we're holding block, and we're going in for the double parry, but he goes straight into a heavy, and now this is where this fight went wrong. So you can see that my Fury fell off, and I got a little bit of the Burden of Might that drained my power, and then I'm at 9 bubble shield, so I have to parry Dex, or Dex parry Dex, and I missed that, and now I'm drained again, and yeah, and now I'm trying to like dance around. I think I was trying to make sure that the unblockable on that 10th hit was off, and I had Dex, and now I'm drained. So like I didn't get off my special 2. Had I gotten off my special 2, this fight would have gone much different, much better. But then you're gonna see here, so we're going to steal his power a little bit. He's gonna launch off his special 2, and we're at 17, 18, 19, 20 blocking, and he becomes unblockable. But I swear I dexed out, and I mean normally when I'm blocking the L2s, I block, and I dex, and for whatever reason he clipped me. Now what really stinks is I have the concussion on me, so I'm getting willpower healing, but I do not dare dex out of that, because if I try to dex that special, I possibly could have been concussed and it would have hit me and I would have taken even more damage. And so I'm like, okay, great, but this has Aspect of Evolution, so block penetration keeps getting more and more, his power gain keeps getting more and more, I keep getting power drained because I'm dexing out of that special, and he keeps throwing it before I can get back to a special 1. Here we're at 30 charges, but you know, I just don't have enough in the tank, and now he's going to get me cornered here before I can like get an intercept or anything. I try to do the dex against the wall and I die 10%. Had I gotten off that special 2 earlier, and I had like 2 opportunities to throw it, should have just thrown it. I was trying to get too greedy with trying to get back to another special 3 and get a double fury. First death of the season. And so I go back in here with Thing. He's only got 10%, 9% left. And I'm like, okay, all I gotta do is hit him a few times. And I'm playing a little bit passive here because he does have 3 charges. And I just didn't want him to, you know, smack me good. I'm trying to hit him and then bait out a heavy, and he is just not having it. There we go, we get a heavy, we go in for a combo, and I think at this point I was like, don't parry because he'll stun me, but that's at 4 charges. He is unstunnable when he's striking, so I was trying to play a little bit passive and trying to get him to throw another heavy, and he's just not having it. And then he goes and throws another special 1, so I just block, trying to play it safe, knock him over. That wasn't ideal. I totally messed that up, you know. So I had one more Doom fight, and it was against this Terrax. Doom versus Terrax is not a great matchup, but he's plenty capable of taking him down. This is just Vigor and Indomitable, and so I go and collect some of the compensation that we've been getting, so I can get a bigger heal. And then for whatever reason, I just my brain was just not working, because Terrax is shock immune, and so I don't know what I was thinking, but I hit him once thinking that he was going to have a shock. I was going to chain that into a passive heavy stun. Yeah, that's not going to work. So I did want to make sure that I could keep those staggers on in case I didn't get him to a 25% increment of health within that timer that he wouldn't regen. Really didn't come into play. I was heavily boosted. I had Mystic Boost on, and then you're gonna see I just knocked him down to 25%. We're gonna get to our special 2 again, and he's dead. So had I just launched that special 2 against Apoc, it would have been a pretty clean war and wouldn't have had to use so many items. But you know what? You live and you learn. And now we're gonna stroll up to this Professor X on Buffet, Indomitable. And we're going in with Torch. We still have that regen boost that I put on to help heal up Doom a little bit. And yeah, we're just going to block. Block. We're gonna get Smolders, do shorter combos, try not to dex. You know, he can become unblockable on the specials, obviously, if he does that. We want to dex, but everything else we want to block. And you know, with the Nova Flames and the Incinerates on, while it won't reverse the healing, it will prevent it. And we just get to a special 2. We do trigger Buffet from our special 2 because we have Thing on the team, which has the Fury, but he's got so much Incinerates on him, it doesn't matter. And Professor X just melts really quick. And then last up on this path, we got a ManThing. It's got Buffet, Strike, Counter, Combat, Power Rate, and the Chitinous Thorns, which has been added, and then Outlast. So Thing is great for Buffet in general because he can't be nullified, therefore the opponent, no opponent will be able to regen off of Buffet from Thing, which is great. So really the only thing that I have to worry about in this is the Strike, Counter, Combat, Power Rate, which I'm just pretty much going to ignore. I'm going to get off one special 1 here, I think, to build up a few extra rock stacks before suppression really kicks in. So, you know, I got 13 stacks of suppression on me. I'm not going to get back to another special. This guy does have Mystic Dispersion, but it's not super significant. It looks like maybe 3 out of 5. Yeah, it looks around 3 out of 5 Mystic Dispersion, which is easy to manage. You know, you'll get those Pustil buffs on you and they'll fall off. You'll get the Dex that will fall off and trigger some Mystic Dispersion, but you know, I wasn't really concerned at all at any point in this fight with Mystic Dispersion getting out of hand. And we're just going to try to bait his specials and smash this dude. But, you know, we've already got our rock stacks up to, or not our rock stacks, our furies up to 42. So our damage output is decent. You know, this is a little bit longer fight, you know, and when time comes down to it, you know, while Thing is not going to be anywhere close to being the fastest, he's extremely safe. And, you know, while some of our attack times haven't been like the fastest, you know, the most important thing I can think of is attack bonus. Get the attack bonus, which I lost against that Apocalypse. Get the attack bonus, and then, you know, let the cards deal what they may towards the end of the war. I feel like time, while it can be important, I think it's like the least important thing to worry about. At least in the wars that we've been playing, and it felt like it's, you know, it hasn't even been close to even being considered as being a factor. But here we're just about done smashing this dude out. One more combo and he will be down. Boom. Thing gets the solo. We're gonna move along. And so we did all that in like one set of boosts. And then a little bit later, we get to Mini Island. And my assignment for this war was to take both this Rage Mojo, which I apply my pre-fight. It's got Return Policy, True Focus, and Extend as well on it. I just put on a Invulnerability boost and a Health boost. I don't put on any attack boost just because I didn't want to trigger any Rage whatsoever on Mojo. And we're just going to be doing parry, medium, light, medium, and hope this guy is very cooperative when he throws specials. So he's got dash backwards. I end up dashing back, you know, whatever. And we're trying to get bait out a special, and he's just not having it. I do have max petrify, so what the power that I give him under the stun is 30% less, which does help. It's one of the masteries I always have active. I think it's very useful. I know some people don't like it or use it, but I find it very helpful, at least with the style of play that I go on. And here now he's throwing special ones. We're building up so much smolder, and he is melting so fast. 1%. We're gonna finish off with an L3. And you know, thinking about this again, you know, if time ever did come down to, you know, consideration, I shouldn't be finishing fights with L3s when I could have just hit them one more time or just let them melt out, because that probably took another, I don't know, 10-15 seconds of animation before the fight time gets recorded. So just something to keep in the back of your head. Yeah, and then last up I have this white Magneto. I put on additional attack boost. It's got Hurt Locker, Enhanced Special 1, Power Focus 1. I don't have the pre-fight. I do have an Indestructible boost on. One thing that we weren't 100% certain on was if Magneto's Special 1 was truly unblockable or not. And we're going to find that out now. I was like, I'll just put on an Indestructible and I'll try to dex it like I normally do, like with the map 7 white Magneto minis. But if I happen to get hit or I block it, then I got the Indestructible to help me out. And so I play very passive. I have max pacify at the to work with, so I'm trying to build up smolders and do one hits under the stun. We get him stunned, we go back in, and you can see that on the first one and on that one, I was trying to dex both, but I ended up blocking them, and they're fully blockable because they're not a projectile. It says that either or arrows, projectiles that are arrows or rocks are blockable, and he's throwing a bunch of rocks at you before you can block it. So just a thing to note, you'd think that Magneto would be really good on that node as a defender, but you can block the special one, so the unblockable part, which I know a lot of people have a hard time dexing that special one or the red Magneto special 2. But yeah. And then last up, we're just going to showcase our boss kill from our battle group. This is UltimaTheory again. What a machine. He's taken the first 3 bosses, all the bosses in week 1, and we got the solos on all of them. He does a great job. We have this a red Magneto as the boss, and one of the tricky parts about the red Magneto on the boss is that he's obviously, he can't be stunned, and to get around that, you try to bait heavies, but if he baits heavies, he's unstoppable. And Sorcerer Supreme is a great counter to this, simply because one, she can throw the special ones and have that aura up, which is going to nullify buffs, the nullification aura, you can see there, and you can throw specials when that mystic icon is up. I'm not 100% clear on what all the 3 modes are called. Here's the shield mode with the Ragnar's Resolve, which gives you the regen. And then what's this icon's Ingenuity? So this one is the one that will give you the slow when you throw a special. And then the Fury one, what is that one called? We'll see in a second. Terrax, Ferocity. That one gives you the armor break. So couple game plan things here is you want to have the aura up so you can nullify both the unstoppables if you don't have slow up, plus all of the energy and physical resistant buffs that come up from adaptive. That'll help increase your damage throughout the fight. And then you want to have slow up, so that way you can just prevent the unstoppable buff altogether. Easy to bait heavies and retaliate. And you can see in this fight, there's a number of times where Ultima does a great job at right there, blocking, letting them come in, do a quick dex, and then firing off that special to get that opening. It's a great way to to fire off specials, you know, on champs that can't be stunned. And yeah, you know, this isn't a quick fight by any means, but it's a very, very safe fight. It's an easy way to get all 3 attack bonus. I know that some other options that our other battle groups have used is Cap America Infinity War. I think as far as like speed wise, Cap America Infinity War and Sorcerer Supreme are around the same time. You're going to be finishing the fight anywhere between 1 minute or less left on the time clock. Now I've done this fight a season or 2 ago with a pre-fight Torch, and he is definitely going to be, I think, the fastest. I don't know. Let me know who you guys would use against Red Magneto. Pretty much the options that we would even consider using would just be one, Sorcerer Supreme, and then probably Torch next. I don't know that we have many guys that have a max sig rank 3 Cap Infinity War in our group, but that would be another option. But between those 3, I think those are the ones that we would use. But if you guys have an alternative that you guys use that works really well, let me know. I'd be interested in hearing that. But yeah, I mean, I've soloed a Red Magneto with a Human Torch, and it's super fast. You just need to make sure that you got your intercept game on, whether you're going to go back to the wall and do some backdraft intercepts against the wall, or the bank intercepts. And yeah, Human Torch just melts him. I think it took like 40 hits when I did it. But yeah, there we go. Ultima does it very well, very clean, very little health lost. It was like, what, 150 hits? Yep, 150 exactly. So we did pretty well this war. We're doing better. We did win. Good job to Republic of the PH. You know, they kind of looked like they kind of gave up towards the end because they saw the differential in the attack bonus. But yeah, we did get the shards. We are going to move on. And as far as stats on the season goes, I have a total, well, for this war, I had 8 fights. First death on the season against the Apocalypse. And yeah, 8 fights, 8 kills, 1 death. Total on the season is 21 kills, 1 death, and on 21 fights. And yeah, we're 1-2, and we got into the leaderboard, coming in Platinum 2, not where we wanted. It's bottom of, or not the bottom, but pretty close to the bottom. Platinum 2, number 26. So we got a lot of work to do. We got to get some wins, but we can do it. So stick around, and I'll be uploading the other war videos here shortly for week 2. I have all those ready to go, and appreciate you guys watching. Thanks, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.